Hello. Have you ever struggled to have a comprehensive view of your business? One single place that you could look and be able to see all of your important metrics and trends? I'm going to assume the answer to that is yes, because you probably have several different data repositories based on your different types of transactions. You probably have a point of sale system. You have another system you track your wholesale sales, maybe a financial system like QuickBooks. You probably have an ERP, let's say it's Ecos, that has inventory and operations information. Maybe you use Google Analytics to track your website traffic. You have a marketing campaign thing with MailChimp. And then let's say you also store 10 different spreadsheets on like a Google Drive that has your information. So I wasn't counting very well there, but let's say that's 7 or 8 different sources of data. And all of them are a little bit different, right? So how are you ever going to spend as little as 5 or 10 minutes and be able to get a comprehensive view of your business? It's just not possible. What I want to show you is a dashboard that takes information out of all these different systems and brings them into Tableau to give you that comprehensive view. Okay, here's our dashboard in Tableau, and this one right now is published on the Tableau cloud site. If you watch some of my other videos, I usually go pretty in-depth and give several examples of how somebody can use this to gain insights. Because this one has a lot going on, I'm not going to go quite into that much detail. First, let me just zoom out a little bit so you can see all the different information on here. And that's why I'm not going to go into too much detail. First, let me just walk you through the different sections. Up here, we're going to look at sales demand. Then we're going to look at some inventory. We're going to see some transactional activity. Then we're going to get into some financial information. So we have income statement and balance sheet. And then down towards the bottom, we're going to get more dialed in on tap room traffic. We're going to see some marketing, and then finally some information related to your team. So let me spend like a minute or two on each of these so you see what's going on. So first of all, because customer demand is the lifeblood of your business, I have that up on the top and a little bit more information. Most of what this dashboard is going to be set up to do is look at the last week of information, when that makes sense. Other metrics, for example, your income statement, might make more sense at a monthly level. So that's how that one's showing. But for anything that's more like has daily information, we're looking at a weekly summary. So that's what this is showing, what our most recent week was. And then for most of these, I'm comparing it to the recent run rate. And in this case, this is showing, based on our weekly sales, the last 3 months, how did last week compare? So I just want to review this a little more because we'll see this in other parts of the dashboard. So this is showing that this most recent week is up about $1,500 per week, or 5% above what our run rate has been. So that's what these indicators are. Okay, down below that, we're going to see some trending information. So this is every single day. So if you wanted to see, what was our biggest day, or what are some of these other days we had little sales, you'd be able to do that. But just showing up through our most recent period what our trend has been. And now we're going to start to break things down a little bit more. So we're seeing what channel we have: tap room and wholesale. We're looking at the top 3 beers that sold last week. So these would probably rotate on a week-to-week basis. I guess one thing that kind of stands out that's interesting on this one is Pale C. You can see that one's not like steady all through the year, right? We were brewing it and selling it back in February. And then we started doing that again. But it happens to be one of our top 3 beers most recently. So we are getting good sales when we do sell it. And then finally, we're looking at our top 3 customers. Again, this is going to rotate based on what you sold a lot of last week. There's some good trending I think we can see with one of these Whole Foods and restaurants, where recent sales have been quite a bit above what it was in a period a little bit further back. So kind of looking back to late fall and winter. So I'd say that's a good sign for these 2 guys. Okay, scrolling down, we have an inventory section. So this is showing we currently have $125,000 of inventory investment of about 250 items. And that's up about 28% from 3 months ago. So we're definitely in a period of increasing inventory, and we can see that from this trend graph down here. Now we're going to look at the main categories of inventory. You can see how those go and how they've been trending. Ingredients have been up a lot. And then we're going to look at the top individual items that have the most inventory dollars, and you can see what that looks like. In this case, we've recently purchased a lot of hops. So you'll see that that's why hops stand out here. And that would also be reflected over here in ingredients. Okay, moving down, we're going to be looking at our transactions. So this is going to show what quantity of each item in different parts of our business have we either produced or consumed during that period. And this is looking at last week. So we're seeing how many dollars of ingredients did we purchase? How much beer whip did we start? And then how much finished beer did we produce? And we'll show how that trends over those different run rates again. Then we're just going to get a little bit more dialed in. So we're going to see of the ingredients we purchased, what categories were those in? And then for the beer we produced, was it either canned or kegged? And then again, seeing trends over time. So like all of these, not a ton of detail on here, but that's not what we're looking for. We just want, to be able to spend 10 minutes and get a really comprehensive overview of our business. If needed, we could then dive into another dashboard to really get things dialed in to see like what actual beer did we can last week. We'd be able to get to that, but not through this dashboard. Okay, moving along, we're going to have our two different financial statement related ones. First is income statement. So we're looking at net income and trending. We're looking at what our gross margin is and trending over time, and then our main operational expenses here, and then trending over time. Next up is a summary of our balance sheet. So this is just as of a point in time. We're going to look at our main categories. So we have our assets up here, we have our liabilities and equity. So that's our real high level balance sheet. Most of what we're interested in on a day-to-day basis is probably going to be more of our current assets and our current liabilities. So this is breaking those down a little bit. And then finally, we want to see who owes us money. So this is looking at open invoices. So what do people owe us? And then are they late? So this is some like AR aging, or is it due to us in the future? Okay, moving down. Next, we're going to look at our tap room traffic. So these are people coming into our tap room. We have sales from last week, how that's trending, and then a little bit more information. And then we can see the long-term trend. So I guess what this is showing is, even though last week's sales have been a little bit above our 90-day average, it's definitely down considerably from our peak period, which is probably during the summertime. Okay, now we're going to look at our top beers that we sold last week. Like that other one we saw, this is going to show based on each week. So maybe next week we have 4 different beers that were our top sellers. And then we're going to break our customer down into, is it repeat business? Meaning, does our point of sale system recognize their credit card information? Is it new business? Meaning we've never seen their credit card before? Or are we unsure, which most of this is cash. It's hard for us to track somebody that's just paying in cash. Okay, we only got 2 left. We got marketing. So we're going to look at 3 different data sources related to marketing. First step is our email campaigns. How well have those performed over the last month? What are we getting a lot of clicks and activity on? What's some of the open rate? So you can see how those trend over time. Then we're going to look at our website. So how many people are hitting our website, and what pages are they mainly hitting? And then what is the trend for each of those pages? And then finally, in this case, we do a customer survey every 6 months. So not something that we're always going to see fresh data here. It'll only update monthly, but I think it's still good to give this snapshot up there. So we can still be reminded, okay, we did ask 57 customers these questions. Let's not lose sight of what this overall score was and where we can find areas for improvement. And then last up, we're going to look at some HR or team related metrics. So first is just what was our payroll expense? We're looking at this in a monthly bucket. How did that relate to our last 90 days? And then we can see a trend. Next up is going to be more about headcount. So we're looking at headcount for our different departments. And then also we're going to see in the most recent period, are there any open positions? And then do we have any brand new people? So in the production department, we don't have anybody new or open. But if we looked at service, for example, we'd see, okay, we currently have 1 open position. and we have 2 brand new people to our team. So a good reminder to an executive, maybe to follow up on this open position with HR, see how that recruiting's going. And then also check in on the new people and see if it looks like they are going to be good long-term team members for us. And then finally, we're showing that there's an employee survey that they do once every 6 months. So like we saw above, these scores won't be changing all the time, but just a good reminder to, if we spend the time to survey our employees, we want them to feel like we're paying attention to it and taking action on it. So just another way to keep this in front of us, so we're staying focused on everything. Okay, so that was pretty quick, but I hope you can see how the value you would get out of this. Again, instead of trying to go into like 7 different cloud sites and get some of this information each week, you can just pop this open with 5 or 10 minutes. You can get a good overview on how our performance has been, and you can probably ID a few things that might be better to dive into further. If you did want to dive into something further, let's say you wanted more information on sales, I have a link on here. So if you click that little button, it's going to take you to our sales dashboards. So these are all the individual purpose-built dashboards. We have other videos that explain these in much more detail. Just an easy way to navigate there from that overall master dashboard. Okay, so that was our master dashboard that brings everything together. I'm not going to rehash everything that was on there because I'm getting tired of talking. But I really like that one because, again, it takes information out of all your systems and puts it right at your fingertips for either you or anybody else on your team to quickly pop in there and get some overview of your business and then find some things to follow up on. If you'd like to see your data in a dashboard like this, I think it would be super powerful, and I'd love to be able to do that for you. Or if you have any other questions on a comprehensive dashboard like this, please contact me. My email is jeremy@centralcoast-analytics.com. Again, that email is jeremy@centralcoast-analytics.com. Thanks for your time. Have a great day.